just going to say it. Sometimes there are going to be reviews that are late, and I will eventually get them up, but, sometimes they're just going to be late. So they're not going to be right when the movie comes out. And so, my next 2 reviews, this one and the one after that, those were movies that came out 2 weeks ago and 1 week ago. And so, I'm just getting them up now. And there's a reason for it. I was on vacation in Los Angeles, back in my home in Los Angeles, and so the computer we brought out there, I think it's like a MacBook Pro or something, I don't know what it's called. It's one of those Apple computers, not like the big ones, the flat ones or something. It's just very bad with podcasting and uploading. It takes a long time. Whereas if I just waited the extra week until I got back home with the big Mac that's downstairs, like the huge computer that's downstairs, it would take 7 minutes to upload the review. Whereas on the other computer, it would take 2 hours. So yeah. Let's get this review for War of the Planet of the Apes started. So basically, War for the Planet of the Apes is the 3rd installment of the Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy. The first one was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, second one was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and this one's War for the Planet of the Apes. And I really think this trilogy falls in the lines of The Dark Knight and the Lord of the Rings. I almost said The Hobbit. That's funny. But yeah, I really think this one does fall with just trilogies that could have honestly been bad, but it was so good. Really. If you look at most of the Planet of the Apes movies, they're pretty stupid. They're really bad. I mean, granted, they were made in, the 80s when, they didn't have the kind of technology we have today. But, I mean, they're not good movies. The dialogue's bad. But these movies, they're just great. Let's talk about Andy Serkis. Can this dude act? I mean, seriously, he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He did Gollum. He's done Caesar now. He's just done so much with motion capture stuff. It's one of the most impressive things, I think. I mean, the dude's an actor, but, he's not one of the biggest names like Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Pratt or all those kind of guys. But, I think what he made his name known as is, the king of motion capture CGI type stuff. I mean, seriously, if you look at all these movies, the guy usually behind, the ape or the Smeagol or something like that, it's usually Andy Serkis. And so he does a really good job as Caesar in this one. And I don't know, he really brings something to the character I don't feel like any other actor could bring. I think the best way to describe the plot for this new movie is basically, I don't want to say how many years it is after Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but they do, okay, I do want to quickly add, in literally the first scene of the movie, they do something clever with a title card. They have title cards explaining something, and they do something really clever. And I was sitting in the theater and I was like, oh, dang, I didn't even think they would do that. And they did, and I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. But yeah, and it addresses how long it's been since Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And I don't want to say, it's not really a spoiler, I don't really want to say. I think you should just know for yourself. But basically, humans and apes have been at war for a while, it seems like now. And so there's this one group led by Woody Harrelson, the Colonel, called Alpha and Omega or something. And so, without getting too much into the plot, because I didn't know that much about the plot going into this, basically what happens is this group, they're bad guys basically, and they capture Caesar's group and they kind of turn them into slaves. And so they have to try to escape. So that's really all I want to say about it, but it was a really good plot and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I did have some issues with the movie, which I'll get into in a minute, but I think this plot was really cool, kind of like a prison escape or something. I really like that idea. It's really cool. Kind of like Toy Story 3. I mean, everyone's seen Toy Story 3. In my opinion, it's the greatest Pixar movie ever. Where they go to this place where you think they don't really think it's a safe haven where they're going, but they go somewhere, they get captured, and they have to escape. I don't know. I really always liked that idea. It's really cool. Woody Harrelson was okay. I don't really want to talk much about his character in case you haven't seen the movie, but I looking back at it, there were some issues I had with the character. I felt like he was a bit of a waste. And I don't want to say why, because it's a spoiler, and I'm not doing a spoiler video for this movie. But I don't know, there was just something about his character that happens to him, and I just felt like, oh, that was a bit of kind of we'll throw that in there, because we got to tie this up quickly, and already have all this other stuff we have to do, so we got to, finish the story for his character. So, I don't know, I didn't really like the way they tied off his character at the end of the movie, but it's hard. There was a lot they had to cover in this, so, yeah. I did say I had some issues with the film, and personally, in my opinion, granted, this is one of the reasons everyone likes it, but it was a slow burn. It's not an action movie, really, and I think everyone expected it to be, because, they got the word war in big red letters on the poster and started thinking, oh, it's a war movie, dude. It's not really. It's kind of more of like a psychological thriller, I think, the way, Woody Harrelson's messing with the apes, which is really cool. But, like, the movie's a slow burn at points. Like, there's one scene where it's super actiony and great, and then the other scene where it's just, like, someone talking to someone else for, like, 10 minutes. And then there's another great action sequence, and then there's someone talking to someone for another 20 minutes. It's just kind of like, choose one you want to be, or at least, have a good, consistent flow of, genres or something. I don't know. I think that was one of my issues with the film, that, like, you really stuck with me, that I didn't really experience with the other ones. I mean, a lot of people don't really like Rise because they think that one's just bad, but, like, I like that one because it's an origin story. I mean, origin stories are okay. I mean, I don't want to say another Spider-Man origin story, but, like, I like that origin story of, how the disease broke out. And the second one I liked because, it showed, like, what the ripple effects were of that one mistake that Caesar, created. And this one is just kind of, I don't know. The way to describe this one is, like, it's the aftermath, I guess, which would be cool, but sometimes it's just kind of like, I like the other two better where I'm learning something. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling now. Also, like, the geography. That's one of the most beautiful things about this movie. Like, one of the best things, I think. It's just, it's such a beautiful movie. Literally, the scenery, the geography, everything. Even the snow. That one snowflake that's on screen for less than half a millisecond. It's beautiful. Like, I don't know. It impresses me of how great technology is today, that we can do things like this. Like, I mean, granted, maybe it was real, maybe it was fake. I'm going to assume it was fake. I don't think they're having Andy Serkis in a skin-tight motion capture CGI type suit in the middle just standing in the middle of a snowstorm for hours on end to film, like, 10 seconds of a scene. But, like, it's really beautiful. And Matt Reeves, who directed the film, and he did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, he does a great job doing that, and I can't wait to see what he'll do with Batman, or the Batman. I think where this ranks of this trilogy, in my opinion, my favorite's always going to be Dawn. I love Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I'd say then probably War for the Planet of the Apes, and then probably Rise for the Planet of the Apes. They're all good films, I think, and I love all of them, but, like, you have to, I think you have to have a favorite. But yeah, I really can't wait. It's a good conclusion to a good trilogy, and I can't wait to see what they bring with the fourth installment. I don't know if it's going to be a new thing. It most likely will be, and I can't say why. I think it's going to be a new thing. It'd be cool to see them try and tie it into the very original one where, the dude comes down from space. Because they tried to do that with the first one, like the first Rise of the Planet of the Apes. There was, like, a little Easter egg to the dude heading up to space. And so it'd be cool if, they tie it into that. But, yeah. I think I'm going to give War for the Planet of the Apes an 8 out of 10. It's an enjoyable film. I had some issues with it, but I enjoyed it. I think it's good. It's definitely a great conclusion to a great trilogy. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you for being patient while I get up this review and my Dunkirk review. I also have a special review coming. Well, it's not really a review, but it's a special episode I have coming to you guys. Literally probably in about the next hour. I'm trying to upload 3 oh my gosh, I keep saying reviews. 3 episodes today. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. Stay tuned for Dunkirk and the special episode. Those will be up later. And if you liked what you listened to and you want to listen to more, the links to all of my social medias are down below. I would really appreciate it if you liked, clicked, and subscribed. I would really love that. Other than that, this has been A Talk in Depth.